George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
You ever hear anyone complain that they bought a house and after they moved in, the seller took a bunch of stuff that they were supposed to leave there? Did they get ripped off? Do you have any recourse against them? Well, that's the topic we're going to be discussing in thecreditjungle.com today. Thanks for joining. This is George Anderson. And I just want to really touch on one aspect of real property versus personal property. Appraisers kind of have a general term that they say if it's hardwired or screwed in, it belongs to the house. You can't take it out. Cabinets, they're screwed into the walls. An electric baseboard heater, sometimes a range or some other appliances can be hardwired. If they're plugged in, they're not hardwired in. So sometimes those things can go with you. But there was a great article in the Division of Real Estate newsletter this past quarter, and it talks about something that, in Salt Lake County, people buying residential properties don't deal with it too much. But for those people who are kind of getting out of the Wasatch Front a little bit, and we're seeing a lot of people do that because people can work remotely. They don't have to go and travel to the office today. So a lot of people are going out where they have a little bit of land, and then with that, they are hoping that they can get a little bit of water that would come with it. So this article that was in the Division of Real Estate newsletter talks about the difference between water rights and water shares. Now, the thing of it is that a water right is actually part of the property. So in other words, if you're buying a property and the owner has water rights, those rights will transfer with you as if they are part of the property. Okay, so again, you have a right to the water, so that would be the case. But as we know with a lot of the rural areas, those water rights are actually owned by an irrigation company. The irrigation company sells shares, and those shares go to the shareholder. These shares are personal property. Now, if you are paying cash for a property and you put it in the contract that those water shares go with the property, then they have to go with the property, okay? But if you're getting a mortgage loan, the lender is going to say, well, wait a minute, those are personal property. How much are those worth? Well, they could be worth thousands of dollars. Each share could be worth several $1,000s. And you cannot add to the purchase price of the property anything that is personal in nature. In other words, this requires a separate document to transfer these things if you're getting a loan. So if the water shares are worth $10,000, the appraiser is not going to include the value of these shares in the appraisal. Now, if you're paying cash, you don't get an appraisal, okay? So those water rights would transfer, and if the property's worth more money because of it, oh well, it doesn't matter because it's real property and it goes with the property when you transfer title. But if you're giving a loan, you could put it in the contract that there's 10 shares of water worth $2,000 a piece to be included in there, and the appraiser is going to go, well, the seller, he can go and take off with those. We could close. He could transfer the title to the home, and yet the water shares will still remain with the seller. So while you could get mad about drapes or cabinets or something like that, if you need those water shares, you've got to make sure that you have a separate bill of sale to convey those, and that if you're getting a mortgage loan, you're going to have to come up with the money to purchase these shares in addition to whatever down payment that you're going to have to complete the sale. So this isn't something that people are going to run into if they're purchasing a home in Salt Lake County. But you start getting into the USDA rural housing areas there where there are water shares transferring with the property. A lot of times that's how you're going to irrigate your lawn, and you're going to have to deal with an irrigation company and purchasing those shares separately. So hopefully that's something that you don't have a problem with, but again, know before you go. And that is some good advice today from thecreditjungle.com. Remember, you can push button, get mortgage professional. And I would be delighted to talk to you about any of your personal mortgage financing needs and how we can optimize the process for you. Have a great day.